The show starts off with a contract signing between Bianca and Jade. Jade says that when the bell rings on Saturday and she's crowned the winner, then all of this will finally, uh, then all of this will finally be able to move. What the fuck? Okay. When she's crowned the winner, then she will finally be able to move past Bianca and go after the women's championship. Bianca laughs and asks Jade what makes her so sure that she's gonna win. After all, it was Bianca who was doing all the heavy lifting in their tag title reign, and in her opinion, is why it lasted so long. Jade says that Bianca was never a closer, and she couldn't get it done when it mattered most. That's why they had to save her, or they had to save Jade to end the matches. Bianca was always jealous that when Jade was around, she was never the EST of anything. Both sign the contract, and the segment ends. Okay, uh, Tiffany and Bliss are out muscled the whole match. They just can't compete with Nia or Tamina, leaving Rhea to have to deal with both of them. In the closing moments, Bliss is in there with Tamina, while Tiffany, Rhea, Naomi, and Nia have been taken out. Bliss is about to hit Twisted Bliss, and when she does, uh, Bliss is about to hit Twisted Bliss, and she does before she can go get the cover. Mercedes comes out of the crowd and distracts the ref from counting. Bliss gets up, knocks Mercedes off the apron, turns around, gets hit with a massive headbutt from Tamina. Tamina falls back into her corner where Nia has recovered. Nia tags in, gets Bliss in position, and hits an annihilator on Bliss for the win. After the match, the Bloodline continue to beat down on them. Mercedes is beating down Tiffany on the outside when Nia sees her. Out of instinct, Nia starts charging Mercedes, but before she can do anything to her, Naomi stops her and tells her to get back. Mercedes and Nia have a tense stare down with Naomi between them. Nia then goes in the ring. They beat them down some more, and we get a shot of the Bloodline standing over Rhea, Tiffany, and Bliss. Bloodline win. Law. All right. Backstage, KO walks up to Stone Cold and says, "Look, last week was tough. I know what I said, but this week I'm going to need you out there. Undisputed Era is going to be running around the whole match, and I need you to help me with the numbers game. Even the odds a bit." Stone Cold takes a second before replying, "Okay, I'll be there. But I don't want any of this more talking down to me bullshit, okay?" KO says, "Deal." They shake hands. KO says, "All right, got a match to get ready for. I'll see you out there." All right. Elimination Chamber qualifier match here. Cena Winslow. Doo, 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 doo. All right. Rock and Jimmy barge into my office, and Rock says, "The hell did you want to see me for?" "Well, it's been a while since you defended those tag titles, and as much as I would love to double book you on Elimination Chamber, I just can't. I just can't do that. Rock versus Roman is just too big. We need you both to be at your best. So next week, you'll defend those tag titles against two of the finest teams I could find." "Two teams? Really?" "Yes. Given the end to your last defense, I'd say the Street Profits should get another shot at those titles. And let's give some young up and comers a chance too. The Creeds will also be a part of that match." "Well then, you better give the funeral home a call, 'cause that's where they're headed after next week. Come on, Jimmy. We got business to take care of tonight." All right, this match, Zelina, Thea, and Mercedes. Mercedes wins Law. We'll just say she pits Thea. All right. Then we get Damian Priest sit down interview with Kathy Kelly. Kathy starts off by saying, "So here we are, probably the biggest match of your career on Saturday. How are you feeling? What's the game plan?" Well, I feel great. I don't know of many men who could say they've scared Randy Orton before. He's trying to add all these obstacles in the way of the inevitable. And as far as strategy, I mean, it's simple. We all know about his back. We know it's been surgically repaired. And you saw that match he had with Jay. I'm surprised I didn't paralyze him. But I'll tell you this, he's going to wish he was paralyzed in that match after I'm done with him. He's going to be begging for mercy. He'll find out firsthand why they call me the Punisher of the WWE. All right, Elimination Chamber qualifier match. Trick is finally able to get his hands on Sheamus after all this time. The man who injured Montez all that time ago. He's heavily focused on Sheamus, but he also has had battles with Cole in the Undisputed Era. Cole and Sheamus work together to take down Trick, but it all comes down to the end where Mello interferes, low blows Trick, and Cole gets the victory. Adam Cole, baby, is headed to the chamber. Backstage, we see Chelsea Green getting interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Jackie says, "Chelsea, over the last few weeks, we've seen you pick up some pretty big victories, and now you're headed towards the elimination chamber. How do you view your odds going into Saturday?" "Well, Jackie, over the last few weeks, I've decided to give this my all, no distractions. And it's been working out pretty good for me. And I have all the confidence in the world that this Saturday will be no exception." As she finishes, Raquel walks up to her with Liv by her side. "Yeah, good luck. With Liv in there, you don't stand a chance. She's gonna get my payback on you for me and eliminate you." "What, you too scared to do it yourself?" Raquel gets up in her face and says, "I will let you get away with that this time, but next time you're dead." Raquel and Liv walk away. Main event time. Oops. Finn is targeted pretty early on by both Jay and Kevin. They both know that at any moment the Undisputed Era will come in and interfere, so Finn gets beat down for the first 10 minutes until the cavalry starts showing up slowly. First, JD and Mello come in to help the numbers advantage. This gives Finn some time to rest, but not for long, as the glass shatters, and here comes Stone Cold. They're all brawling for a bit until Jay and Finn are the only ones standing in the ring. Finn goes for a sling blade. Jay ducks. Jay goes for a spear. Finn jumps over him. Finn throws Jay into the ropes. Jay bounces off. Finn goes for a clothesline. Bounces off. Finn goes for a clothesline. Jay ducks, bounces back, and hits a spear. This is it. Jay goes to the top rope. He's making the climb. He's hurt, so he's not going fast. He reaches the top. He jumps. He hits the splash. Cover. One, two. The ref gets pulled out of the ring. Jay looks confused. He turns to see a man in a hoodie. He takes off the hoodie. Jay starts to get up, but from behind, oh shit, he takes off the hoodie. It's so low. Jay starts to get up, but from behind, he gets attacked by Rock and Jimmy. Rock is yelling, "You think he would just let you get off after the bullshit you pulled?" They start beating him down on the outside. KO's in the ring now. It's up to him against Cole and Balor. On the outside, Nakamura and Miller are fighting Stone Cold. KO starts yelling at him to get the chair. Stone Cold is saying he's busy right now. Uh, Kevin says, "God damn it, if you were going to be useless, you should have just stayed in the back." Stone Cold's eyes get filled with rage as he finally takes care of Nakamura and Mello. KO is beating down both Cole and Balor. No one is left standing. Austin gets into the ring with a chair. KO tells him to hand it to him. Stone Cold then grabs it and swings it towards KO's abdomen. This causes KO to fall to his knees, where Austin hits him right in the back with a chair again. He picks up KO, flips him both the birds, and hits him with a stunner. He grabs Finn and drags him over Kevin. The ref counts 1, 2, 3, and hits him with this. After the dust is settled and everyone is gone, it's just Jay in the ring. So Finn won. The bloodline once again appear. They start circling Jay. They're about to attack when Roman's music hits. Uh, Rock sends Jimmy. Rock sends Jimmy to go stop him. Jimmy runs right into a spear, followed what? Followed to one. Okay, followed to one on Solo. Solo gets hit with a spear. Uh, Roman and Rock stand face to face in the ring. Rock goes for a clothesline. Roman ducks. Jay hits a super kick on Rock. Roman hits a Superman punch on Rock. Jay and Roman both set up. They hit a double spear on Rock. The show ends with Roman and Jay hugging.
Um, I feel like you glossed over so quickly Kevin Owens turning on, Stone Cold turning on Kevin Owens.
It's because I was getting distracted from the outside noise.
Well, it's like this major thing happens, and it's like the crowd doesn't really have time to let this sink
Two
in
major things happened.
because Rock is sending the entire fucking bloodline out, and like Roman's coming. It's like Jesus Christ. Like this is a very important thing, but there's also other important things happening at this moment in time.
I just leave the
The
crowd.
least
Everybody's
important thing happening is Finn retained his title. To open the show, Ilya Dragunov comes down to the ring and demands that Andrade comes down to meet him. Paul Heyman then comes out with Andrade and says, "How about we let the commentators actually introduce the show to the audience before you hijack it?" Ilya, I understand you are upset about Andrade's attack last week, but you provoked him. All Andrade was trying to do last week was inform you of the updated stipulation to the US title match, and for some reason you took the opportunity to puff out your chest. I can see you are in a fighting mood, so here's what I can do for you tonight. You can come down to this ring later on and defend your US title against Andrade. If you accept, then we can end this charade right now and get ready for later on. Ilya says he gladly accepts the challenge. Heyman then, as he is walking away, stops and says, "Oh, and one more thing. Since you decided to hijack SmackDown, I am revoking your chamber spot. Instead, it will go to either Braun Breaker or Bobby Lashley. And that match is going to happen right now." We move on to Braun versus Bobby. Towards the end of the match, Braun and Bobby are scrapping in the middle of the ring. Bobby is attempting to get him in the hurt lock, but Braun reverses it and hits him with a back elbow. Braun then charges the ropes, and as he comes back, Bobby nails him with a spear. Bobby covers Braun. 1, 2, Braun kicks out. Bobby, frustrated, gets Braun up and locks in the hurt lock. After a few seconds in the hold, Braun backs Bobby up into the corner and gets out of the hold. Braun and Bobby then lock up in the corner, and the ref gets in between the two to separate them. As they do, Braun pokes Bobby in both of his eyes. Bobby stumbles out of the corner as Braun hits the ropes and connects with a spear of his own. He covers Bobby. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker takes Ilya's spot in the chamber. We then see Bayley backstage being interviewed about the women's chamber match. She says this is her chance to get another shot at the women's championship, and she doesn't plan on losing. Io then confronts her and says, "With all due respect, Bayley, she has had her moments, and with all due respect, Bayley has had her moments, and it's time to regain her women's championship." Okay. Cora then confronts them and says, "How about someone new getting a shot at the title? Both of you losers have had so many chances and have failed time and time again. So when I win the chamber, I am going on to WrestleMania to beat either Becky or Charlotte and become the women's champion. Bayley says the fact that Cora is even in the match makes no sense. She already has the briefcase, so why should she get rewarded with a shot at a title? Cora says because Paul knows I'm the future of this brand and I won't let him down. Io says she is tired of talking and has a proposition for everyone. There are three of them and two pods available for SmackDown. So how about the three of them go out there and whoever gets pinned doesn't get a pod? Bayley and Cora agree. Um, we then cut over and see Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed enter Paul Heyman's office and say, "You asked to see us." Paul says, "Yes, I understand you guys and Brock and Drew have had some tensions as of late, so I'm here to help maybe alleviate some of those tensions. I was thinking about giving you guys a tag match later on tonight against Brock and Drew. I was thinking the match could close out the show, and if you win, you can pick the stipulation for your match at Elimination Chamber. I do want to make one thing clear though. If for some reason either of you cause a DQ during this match, or if you just bail on the match, Sammy, you will be stripped of your world title." Sammy chuckles to himself and says, "Do I have much choice in the matter?" Heyman just gives an evil smile and says no. Sammy says, Bronson, I guess let's start getting ready for our match." Head out. We then cut to the ring for the women's triple threat. Towards the end of the match, we see Cora get tossed out of the ring. Bayley and Io then trade some blows before Bayley goes to hit Io with a rose plant. Io shoves Bayley off of her, and Bayley goes crashing headfirst into the middle turnbuckle and collapses into a seated position in the corner. Io then backs up and charges in and connects with the Meteora in the corner. She then rolls Bayley out into the ring and heads up for the over the moonsault. As Io is taunting towards the crowd, Cora gets up on the apron with her briefcase and nails Io with it. Io falls down to the apron before falling to the floor. Cora then enters the ring and smashes Bayley with her briefcase before setting it on the ground and picking up Bayley. Once she gets Bayley up, she gets her in position for Jaded on the and connects with it on top of the briefcase. Cora covers Bayley. 1, 2, 3. Bayley is forced to start the match at the Elimination Chamber. Uh, we then go backstage. Karrion crosses with the Final Testament and says he is tired of the Rebel Society and their antics. They play themselves as the good guys, but it feels like week after week somehow they find a new way to piss me off. They want a title shot and we give them the chance to take ours. When we handled that business, I thought we were done with them, but no. What did they do last week? They cost me a shot at the men's elimination chamber, which means they are taking food off of my plate. And if they're taking food off of my plate, that means they're taking food off of my family's plate. So someone go find me CM Punk and tell him to meet me in that ring. And if he is so kind, then tell him I want my rightful shot at the Elimination Chamber without those two scumbags interfering. CM Punk and the Rebel Society come into frame and say you don't need to come looking for him. In fact, he was looking for Cross. Now I know my boy screwed you over last week, and if you want to take my shot at the men's chamber, fine, I'll give it to you. But I want something in return. Cross says you gotta be joking. You want something in return? Your boy screwed me over and you're asking for something in return? Punk says yes I am. I want you to give Gallus a title shot at the SmackDown following Elimination Chamber. Hell, as a sweetener, I'll even let you pick the match type. Cross says, so let me get this clear. You're giving me a shot that I deserve, and in return your boys get rewarded for bad behavior? Cross laughs and says, you know what? Fine. But when AOP destroyed Gallus on the SmackDown following Elimination Chamber, there are no more title opportunities for them. They have had far too many with far too much failure to keep getting these shots. So if they fail, that's it. Fair? CM Punk agrees. They head to the ring to decide who gets that final spot in the men's chamber. Um, Throughout the match, Cross is the one with the advantage. He is controlling the pace and hitting big move after big move on Punk. We see Cross set Punk up for the sleeper hold. We see him start to lock it in, but Punk drops down and goes for a roll. Cross manages to kick out at 2, but this moment has given Punk some momentum. Punk starts to gain the advantage for a bit before he goes for the GTS. As he picked Cross up, Cross's foot hits the referee and the ref goes down. Punk connects with the GTS and goes for the cover, but the referee is knocked out. Punk stops the cover and heads over to the referee to try to wake him up. During this, we see AOP rush the ring and attack Punk. Gallus then comes out and attacks AOP. Cross though gets up and picks Punk back up. Cross locks in the sleeper hold. Um, as Punk is in the sleeper hold, Cora Jade then comes out of nowhere and nails Cross in the back with her briefcase. Cross then slumps down and Punk picks him up for the GTS and connects. Punk then covers Cross and the ref crawls over for the 1, 2, 3. And Punk maintains his spot in the chamber. Okay. Charlotte is backstage at a podium appearing to hold a press conference. She says that she is here today to let the world know that at the Elimination Chamber she will win the women's championship and redeem the atrocity of the Royal Rumble. A reporter who is blatantly Paige with a slightly adjusted is Paige just in an outfit in a slightly adjusted accent asks what happened at the Royal Rumble. Charlotte says that she had her hands on the ropes to break a pinfall during her title match, but the referee didn't see it, and it cost her. She then bravely chose. Sorry. Paige then asks if anything else happened at the show. Charlotte says yes. She then bravely chose to enter the Women's Rumble and almost made it the entire way, but the referees once again made a mistake. They did not see her eliminate Roxanne from the Rumble, so Roxanne decided to sneak back in the ring and cost her the win. Charlotte has tears in her eyes remembering what all happened at the Royal Rumble. Charlotte says that on Sunday at the Elimination Chamber, she has the chance to redeem what happened at the Royal Rumble. And she is not doing this just for herself, but for anyone who has ever been screwed over. This is for all of them. As Charlotte is closing up, she sees someone put a hand up in the back row to ask a question. Charlotte calls on as Charlotte calls on them, you see Becky Lynch with a mustache on ask Charlotte about uh, asking about people feeling like she is just feeling sorry for herself. Charlotte says she's just letting the world know what happened on Jesus, what did I write? Charlotte says she is just letting the world know what happened at the Elimination Chamber, and on Sunday she gets her redemption. Becky then asks about the rumors that Becky is going to kick her ass at the Elimination Chamber. Charlotte says she would just love to see her try, and walks off. Okay. We then move on to the title match between Ilya and Andrade. This match is very fast paced and hard hitting. Towards the end, we see Ilya get Andrade in position for the H bomb. As he is as he is on the top rope, Bobby Lashley makes his way down to the ring and gets on the apron. Ilya and him are arguing before Andrade gets up and rushes up top with Ilya and hits a Spanish fly off the top rope. Andrade covers him 1, 2. Bobby then picks up Andrade off of Ilya and hits him with the Dominator, causing a DQ. Bobby then beats down on Ilya before security rushes down to help separate them. As they are being held back, Ilya breaks through and nails Bobby with a diving headbutt. Ilya then makes his way to his feet to turn around into Andrade, nailing him with a spinning back elbow. Andrade is left standing as they head to commercial. We then go backstage. Damage Control is being interviewed about the tag match at the Elimination Chamber for the women's tag belts. Pure Fusion Collective confronts them and says they have gone over this time and time again. Last week we saw Dakota think she was all that, but Shayna handled business. Dakota says she had that match fully under control until the rest of PFC decided to get involved. Dakota says it's all fine though. At Elimination Chamber, Damage Control takes the next step towards running the women's division. Io is going to get that title shot at Mania, and the Kabuki Warriors are going to finally regain those tag titles. Sonya says you can keep telling yourselves that, but let's be honest, you're old news. It's our time to put the world on notice. It's our time to have the success we are owed. On Sunday, the whole world is going to bend the knee to PFC. Um, we then go to Paul Heyman's office. Paul Heyman is speaking with Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre ahead of their tag match. Heyman says tonight the world gets to see something special. They get to see the partnership between Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. Men, I am expecting nothing less than a massacre out there. You are two of the baddest men walking the planet, and hey, look at this as a chance to beat down on Sammy. And maybe if you do a good enough job, this right here could be a WrestleMania matchup for the world title. So plain and simple, go out there and do what you're good at. Um, Move on to the main event, Sammy and Bronson versus Brock and Drew. Brock and Drew hold control over most of the match as they keep Sammy isolated on their side of the ring. Brock and Brock and Sammy are in the ring, and Brock is just hitting suplex after suplex. Brock is just strolling around the ring, laughing at the dismantling of Sammy. Brock then picks Sammy up for the F5 and is close to Drew. Drew, as he gets close to Drew, Drew tags himself in, and Brock and Drew start arguing. As they argue, Sammy crawls his way over to Bronson and tags him in. Brock and Drew are still arguing, and Bronson charges in and squishes them into the corner. Brock falls out of the ring and Bronson goes to work on Drew. Bronson gets Drew in position for a tsunami and connects with it. He covers Drew, 1, 2, kick out. Bronson heads back up top and hits another tsunami before grabbing Drew and setting him up in the corner and tagging Sammy back in. Sammy charges across the ring and hits Drew with the haluva kick. Sammy goes for the cover as Brock and Bronson just stare at one another. The referee counts to 3. Sammy and Bronson win.